Previously on Balls.
Balls Visual Radio with A King, with accompaniment by Brian Mitchell there at the end. What can you sing?
What can I sing? I can sing Hey Jude.
Can you really?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Brian Mitchell singing Hey Jude.
Brian Mitchell doing Hey Jude. This should be interesting. Hey Jude. Hey.
Everybody's going to go home.
How's it going, Mitch?
Yeah, lucky you, Dan.
Yeah, good.
Very lucky, thanks.
And, under the circumstances of the shocking news this
I
week.
think the whole country's basically in depression with the whole Oscar thing.
Yeah, and obviously
It's not
also,
something that's not supposed to happen.
yeah, and I mean, also, a lot of people go, people call it, like, talk about Oscar all the time, but I mean, and my wife is a model with Reva from the same agency, and we remember her family as well. But I mean, you can understand it because a lot of the sports guys, I mean, you would have met Oscar numerous times through various events and stuff. You see the guys all the time, so. When this happens and you actually know the guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And particularly with a guy like him, who was always like so well-mannered, just such a nice guy.
Yeah,
obviously we don't know what happened yet, but, it's shocking.
Yeah, look, nobody knows what goes on behind closed doors, but Oscar came across as a very nice guy.
Down to earth.
Always a down-to-earth guy. I mean, we were just saying now, Hecky Butler, who's with us here, the IBO world champion, we're saying he's one of the top 100 influential people in the world.
Yeah.
So
he was the only South African in the top 100, actually.
Yeah, so you just don't expect something like this to happen.
Actually, no, I think there were one or two. I think sports-wise, he was the only one. Madiba was in there. Who else was in that list? I remember looking at that list. Maria Ramos.
Oh, really?
Well, head of one of our most important, ABSA, yeah. Very important as well. So, anyway. Well, let's put that behind us. You mentioned Hecky, he's here as well. We're going to have to share the mic with you, so move back a bit maybe, and then we can bring your... Is it the Brian Mitchell stable now? What are you... just please, listen, I stopped on boxing when you retired, okay? I gave up the ring announcing. That was it, done. Obviously, I used to keep up to date with whatever Corey used to tell me, and then we'd bump into you again. But what is it now, the Brian Mitchell stable? Are you now promoting? Are you training? Are you doing anything? Are you making a comeback? What?
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. I think the last time you did boxing was when I made my comeback in '94.
It was actually at Sun City, Roscoe, wasn't it?
You were a bit thinner then as well, eh?
Yes.
And so was I.
I was actually a bit fatter then, actually.
We were both thinner, actually.
Who was that? Felipe Roscoe?
Felipe Roscoe was my last fight at Sun City. Yeah, and you were still the
ring announcer.
The ring announcer. But Darren, just to answer your question, I've got a lot of hats in boxing. I'm a manager. So I manage about 10 professional fighters. I'm the spokesperson for Golden Gloves, Rodney Berman's publicist. Then I've got my own show on Supersport called Ringside.
Yeah, that show's still going. I'm amazed.
Yeah, it's going like we've been going 2 years. It's once a month. It's called
You're trying to get it up to what Punchline used to be when I used to do that show.
Well, Punchline was twice a month, so we're going once a month. But I think I'm doing a better job than Ron Jackson at this stage. I'm younger than Ron Jackson by about 100 years.
Is he still around?
And then also I'm involved in guest speaking for boxing. I commentate for Supersport.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of hats in boxing.
All right, cool. Is Ron Jackson still around?
Ron Jackson is retired, but he's still around. He still writes for the Supersport website.
All right, cool. And Bert Blurt, where is he gone?
Bert Blut's retired. He moved to England to his family, but he's back in Durban.
Oh, he came back to Durban.
I think Bert Blut's probably in his late 80s, right?
Yeah, he's been around a long time.
Yeah, he's been around a long time.
All right, and is this your shining star here without being... Are you allowed to show favoritism to boxers in your stable?
Yeah, well, Hecky's in our Golden Glove stable. Colin Nathan is with us as well. He's his manager and trainer. And tomorrow night, Hecky is defending his IBO minimum weight world title for the third time. And the great thing about Hecky is he's been offered a shot at the WBC title and the IBF title.
Fantastic.
So he's right up there on top of the world. He'll be fighting one of the big boys soon.
Absolutely. Let me just clear up now with Simon, because when Hecky walked in here, Simon's not a big boxing follower, so he walked in here, he's like, who's the guy with the pink hair? So I said, no, he's a world champion. And he just stared at him.
And Simon, I hope with the pink hair will actually move you.
Yeah, I was going to say, you'll probably clap seven guys a
you get a clap from a little like already.
And that reminds me of that guy in Australia who did a similar thing. Who's the guy standing there and you hit him 6 love? Remember that story as well.
No, but
don't look for crap with a little South African.
But I actually saw, I was watching eSport this morning and I saw a little piece that they did on Hecky, but you didn't have your hair wasn't pink in that one. That's why I didn't recognize you.
Yeah, he hadn't dyed it yet. He dyed it this morning.
Hecky, when did you have this done?
Yesterday.
Are you fighting in Cape Town? Or?
No, I wish.
I think the guys in Cape Town wish rather.
All right, cool. So, I mean, why did you have it done this way?
It's just a thing I do for every fight. Change my hair
color,
just make it a bit different. Joe, I don't want to be the same as everyone else. I like to be different.
What was Ryan O'Connor? What's his name? Shane O'Connor, the Australian rugby player. Everyone was tweeting about his hairstyle this morning.
No, Chris O'Connor?
No, the young rugby player.
James O'Connor.
James O'Connor, yeah. Apparently he had a new hairstyle this morning. Everyone was tweeting about it.
I was following Oscar stuff.
Yeah.
I wasn't watching that game.
All right, anyway. So, how you feeling?
I'm ready, trained hard, did the weigh-in today. Had nice lunch, so that makes it even better. Now I'm ready for the fight.
All right. Well, I mean, what do you have to feed this guy? His minimum weight. So, I mean, what does he have to have? A chicken nugget from McDonald's, and that's it.
That's not healthy food.
Yeah, I know.
You know what? Heki's a very disciplined fighter. So when he comes into camp, it's no more than 4.5, 5Ks that we have to pull off his frame.
Yeah.
And 5Ks is, we consider him overweight.
How many divisions up would that be if you had to put on 5Ks?
So
you go up
51, 52 would be junior bantamweight.
Junior bantam.
Just above flyweight. So you got mini fly.
So minimum is above straw.
No, minimum weight is straw.
Oh, so it's the same one.
So it's mini fly. They've got three names for the division. So it's 47.63.
Just to make boxing less confusing, without all the divisions and stuff, they also not change the names of the weights.
But you know what? And I'm going to mention what Heki said. He's talking about being different. It's not about the divisions or the belts. It's about the fighter.
Yeah.
And I think Heki is one of the most prolific South African fighters at the moment. He's doing incredibly well. But his division that he weighed in this afternoon at 12 o'clock was 47.63 kilograms.
Yeah, see, that is life.
That's crazy. So, yeah.
He weighs more than my wife. But she isn't pregnant. Seriously. I mean, that is crazy. Yeah, that's crazy, yeah.
And when he was an amateur, he used to fight 48 kilograms. And that was like when he was 15, 16. He's 24 years old. Not much has changed.
So I want to, because also another thing I kind of did back in those days, and I think a lot of boxing people that have kind of have had a sort of affinity with the sport. I always put it in terms of Ring Magazine. Because I think they're the guys, if you look at their rankings, you get a fair indication. They bring everyone together and you get an indication of who's who in the world of boxing.
Yeah, Ring Magazine does do the best.
And they still do that. So I want to ask you now, Heki, in terms of where he is now, and obviously still a long career ahead of him.
Yeah.
Where would you put him in the Ring Magazine rating? Or do they rank him?
In the minimum weight division, Heki Butler's just been offered a shot at the IBF title, but he got disqualified. He became the mandatory. They disqualified him because he signed for this fight. It means he's the number one contender for the IBF, and he's been offered a WBC world title as well. We weren't happy with the money, Rodney Berman and Colin Nathan, the manager, so they're waiting to get more money for the WBC shot. But he's right up there. He's one of the best minimum weight, rated number 8 in the world in the minimum weight division.
That's fantastic. Well, that's awesome stuff there.
And then, of course, Colin's also got Rhino Liebenberg and Kevin Lerena, both undefeated fighters. They're on the Baltimore United Empress Palace as well.
Yeah, listen, can you please tell Kevin? Because I know Tommy, I think he was on Twitter, then I followed him, and he never tweets, Tommy Gunn. But I know Kevin's always on Twitter. He's always tweeting, and I followed him the other day, and it was like, and he still hasn't followed. So please tell him to follow us. Then we can retweet some of his tweets as well. Because he's very active, Colin, on Twitter. Kevin.
So Kevin Lerena has been summoned. Yeah. Follow Darren Scott on Twitter.
But I didn't say it aggressively, please. So don't say that I was threatening or anything. You scare me.
Colin, are there a lot of Jewish boxers?
It's like I'm Jewish. I'm a Jewish trainer, so it's my dream to produce a world Jewish champion. To answer your question, no, and I don't think I'll ever fulfill my dream.
So have we ever had one?
In South Africa?
Yeah.
Yes, at national level, not world level.
Not a world.
Leonard Friedman was a national champion.
Cruiserweight
champion, that's right. Grant Messias, unfortunately, never won a title though. But we've never had a world Jewish champion. It's my dream. I don't think I'll ever fulfill my dream, though.
No, right. Well, you never know.
Never know.
Yeah, it could come through. Because Grant used to fight, it wouldn't have been on your undercards because you never fought here, but I mean, he was kind of about the same time as you.
Grant fought on quite a few of my shows in America.
Oh, did he go over there and fight on the undercards?
And in Italy, and that he went with me as a sparring partner.
I remember,
was Grant Jewish?
No.
I think he just put the sign on his pants.
That's right, he used to have the Star David.
I think he was acting Jewish.
Yeah, no, I think he was. I think he is Jewish.
Acts like Colin, ex-Jewish.
Where is he now?
Grant's living in Durban. He's running a gym in Durban.
Is it really?
Yeah, he's terrorized Joburg long enough. So they're exporting him to Durban.
We were actually chatting the other day, and we were just we were talking about the boxing divisions back in the day when you were fighting. This is when John was saying boxing's been a joke ever since then. You can talk to him about that later.
Thanks, John. I hope that's excluding me.
But we were just talking about, and I was obviously in response to this Francois Botha, Sonny Bill Williams joke, basically, which is what it is. I mean, they keep pulling out news stories just to keep it in the media. Now they're talking about a rematch in Durban, which is what it's all about. So without giving credence to that, we started talking about the days, obviously your days, but just how in every different division and just about every week you'd be talking about another fighter who'd be going for another big fight, and we're talking about, people like yourself. There was Harold, Norman Pangaman Sekapani going back earlier, Welcome Kita, Vuyani Bungu. At the same time, and there were all these guys, and that's just locally, and then internationally, you're talking about, Harold fought a couple of, was it Gomez, I think, or Fredo Gomez?
He fought Pepino Cuevas
fought
as well. Breland for a world title.
Yeah. There were just so many boys, and then we think about Hearns, Hagler, all those guys.
Yeah.
I mean, now, literally, if it wasn't for Mayweather, and we're talking about the super fights now, obviously, with respect to some of the load, these are the guys that get the thing and keep the sport up in the lineup. If it wasn't for Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao and stuff like that, it's kind of...
Yeah, look, Darren, the thing is about boxing, you don't have the big personalities like you used to, but it starts in everywhere.
Why, though?
Well, it changes.
Just too many divisions, not too many organizations.
Boxing is still very strong worldwide. But last year, Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather were the two highest paid sportsmen in the world. What happens is the other sports have grown so big. I mean, rugby in this country is massive. I mean, you've got IPL.
But it always has been.
It wasn't really when I was fighting. But rugby now is huge. Soccer has always been huge.
I'll tell Nas Botha you said that, by the way.
But look at cricket now. You've got the IPL cricket, and everything is just growing so big that people think boxing is not surviving.
I don't agree, Brian.
But
I just think
boxing just doesn't have those. Well, because you got the Klitschko's that are the heavyweight champions.
But you get a I don't want to say lighty, but you get a lighty like Hickey, and Tommy and those guys.
Yeah.
I just think that they were, and it's no reflection on you guys. I think it's a reflection on media and just maybe the guys that run boxing here, that these guys should be, and if it was done the way it was done in your day, and Colin, I know you want to add to this, these guys would be super, and boxing would not step back to cricket rugby, because people will still love to see a fight where they can get behind a South African like Arnold Taylor or any of these guys, or the Vicky Tawil or whatever, and it would still be up there in the headlines.
It's marketing,
I think not everyone's pulling their weight, Cole.
I think, Darren, to be honest with you, when Brian was at the pinnacle of his career, it was the height of apartheid in South Africa. So we were excluded from a lot of international sports. We weren't blessed with a lot of choice. We didn't have 5 sport channels. So when Zola Budd competed, or when Harry Coetzee competed, when Brian Mitchell fought, the whole nation stood still and watched. Those days are gone. We are blessed with choice.
He won the title. I listened in a car park at Sun City.
Yeah, against
because I couldn't get into that place. I said, listen in my car, in the car park at Sun City.
And I think globally, boxing has become a niche sport, whether we like it or not. If you look at the trends, you still have amazing fighters, but it's a niche sport. So coming back from a South African perspective, I think South African sports fans, we spoil for choice. People can say about television and the sanctioning bodies, etc., but I still think boxing has a great history. It's got the greatest history of any other sport combined, and boxing will carry on for another 1,000 years.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I think it's one of the oldest sports, and it's been around forever, and it will. It's like they say, rock and roll's dying, and then it always comes back for another phase and another phase. So, no, we're not saying that. I just think that there are certain elements in this country that can actually do boxing a better service.
I agree.
Because it's sad when you look at our national divisions and you see only 4 challenges for a national champion. That's when you see there's a problem. And that's not the boxer's fault. That's somebody who should be actually saying, this is our boxing history, this is where we were, this is the kind of media it used to get. Now what do we need to do to get it there? Because we've still got the boxers, it's still the same sport, and people will still follow it if they did these things.
Yeah, you definitely need more boxing promoters to start with. You've got Rodney Berman that we all work for, does a great job. And then you get a couple of other promoters, but we don't have enough promoters in this country, so there's not enough boxing happening. Boxing should be happening every second weekend at least. And that's one of the other things, and that's why you don't have the personalities coming through. The big youngsters go play rugby because they don't have any options.
Yeah. I was thinking John Drake Kruger as a boxer.
I think he'd be pretty good.
What would he be? Heavyweight?
Definitely.
Yeah, he's over 100 kilos. All right. Johnny?
Yeah, but Smith, where would you think? He used to be a good boxer.
Well, he gets a yellow card every game, so he's already basically halfway into the sport.
Well, we proved that rugby players can't
Don't
really
box.
box.
Yeah.
Because Sonny Boy Williams couldn't take a shot in the 10th round. Although he did quite a good job till then.
Why did you challenge him next? In as Francie couldn't beat him. Why didn't you have a go?
It's got his chin's a bit soft for me.
He wouldn't catch you.
But I actually thought, just getting back to that fight, I thought it lived up to expectations because Francie Botha, for a 44-year-old, came to fight. He was in good physical shape for a guy that's actually so overweighted. So. Sonny Boy had the basics right, but proved that a rugby player can't take a boxer shot. I mean, look what happened in the 10th round.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and we know the Francois would have knocked him out in the next round anyway. He's hanging on for dear life.
And Brian, do you believe all the stuff that's gone on around the fight, the bribes, there's
the drugs,
all the testing, all that kind of stuff?
Well, with Francie Botha, anything's possible. With Francie. But the story that they changes from a 12-runner to a 10-runner, that is a bit strange.
Yeah, very
especially
strange.
when you consider that Francie started getting the upper hand at the end of the 10th round, almost knocked Sonny Boy out. But then there's so many stories. I believe that Francie and his management knew before the fight it was 10 rounds. But a rematch is in order, but then it's getting back to the state of boxing. If the whole world wants to watch a 44-year-old that's overweight against a rugby player,
there's something wrong.
Then there is something wrong with the sport of boxing, especially in the heavyweight division.
And Andrew
then you get
Flintoff
these
is
great little
fighting as
guys
well.
that can fight.
Yeah, and Andrew Flintoff's also getting in the ring.
And
Flintoff's useless.
Someone's got to blitz on him. All right. Let's leave the last words to our world champ. So give us a prediction tomorrow night. Is it on TV, by the way, and where?
I'm on Supersport, yes.
It's Supersport showing. What time?
It starts at 7:30.
It's just another reason. Local boxing, you need more fights because I'm tired of these 4 o'clock in the morning international fights. And you wake up at 4 and then the main fight's at 6. Yes, I get pissed off with that. But anyway, so tomorrow night, Supersport at
7:30.
7:30. Is that the time of your fight? That's when
I'm
the
the
ball
last
starts.
fight. There's 6 fights on the bill, so
Okay.
it's going to be a nice one, yeah.
All right, who else is fighting there?
Rainer Limburg is defending his IBO Africa title.
Okay.
Kevin Lorena's fighting there. We have the new guy in the stable, Junior Makaba. He's managed by Brown. He's a brilliant fighter, brilliant puncher. He's 12 fights, 11 knockouts, 1 loss. He's fighting on the bill. Then we have 2 young guys, two South Africans, undefeated guys fighting against each other. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a nice bill, lot of good fights.
What's your walk-in song?
I don't know yet.
You don't have a walk-in song, a regular one?
You must listen.
Have a Nagila for Colin.
No, watch tomorrow and find out.
There we go.
I already gave away my hair color. My song will be given away tomorrow.
Oh, we thought we might play it for you now. We'll play it for the people now.
What's your record?
I'm 20-1 with 6 knockouts.
There we go. He's a world champion, Simon, and we'll wish you all the best for the IBF and the W. Is there a chance that the 2 different champions in those divisions, so there wouldn't be a unification fight or anything, or one?
You can unify with the IBO. He's got the IBO title, Heki, and he might unify with the IBO and the WBC.
Okay, awesome. Well, we wish you all the best. Heki will be watching closely. Good luck for tomorrow.
Thank you, and thank you for having us.
No, thank you for coming
very
through.
lekker.
And Colin, for you, good luck with that search for, there we go, start a TV show. Search for the first South African Jewish world champion.
You can be the manager. You got to get something out of it. Act Jewish. Come on, what's wrong with you? Great being on the show, and thanks for having us.
No,
It's been
thanks
awesome.
a lot for bringing it through. Thanks for coming through as well. Good luck for tomorrow. We'll be watching.
Darren is Jewish. He's never even bought me a beer.
Help yourself. You're the breweries guys. And Brian, thanks for popping through again.
It's a pleasure.
We're
Good
glad
to be on the show.
and you still went to the wrong grass, eh?
You're incredible. What
You
happened
went to
last time?
Randburg.
Because you guys can't give direction.
You went to the wrong one.
There's drosses everywhere in this town.
I know there are
That's
lots
good
of
for
them.
the drosses.
Absolutely. Thanks, Brian. Cheers,
Okay,
buddy.
thanks, Dave.
Brian Mitchell joining us, Heki Butler here as well, and his trainer Colin. Big fight tomorrow, 7:30. Watch it on Supersport, and you can see our up-and-coming young fighter. We've got some good ones coming through as well. Thanks a lot, Paul. All the best, bud.
This is Balls Visual Radio. Darren, Simon, Kate, and John. Weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central African Time. Balls.co.za